So I'm Irwin Reyes from the International Computer Science Institute, ICSI, and UC Berkeley. So our project, we bill it as contextual privacy in the mobile space. And what that basically is, we're trying to come up with smart permissions where rather than asking users for permission to location or contacts or other sensitive data just once, or when you install it, or the first time it asks, we're trying to apply machine learning to try to tease out user preferences just based on their behavior. So rather than bugging them constantly, we only ask sometimes, and we use that to train our system and validate our inferences that way. So transparency is important because when we inform our users, we're better able to identify their needs, and through that we make better products and start asking research questions that are more relevant to their particular desires and concerns. I thought the conference was great. It's a good place just to talk to some of my fellow academics and hear about their projects, and it really got me thinking, okay, so these guys are working on this project, how can I make mine different, or how can I build on what they've got out there? Because like one thing that struck me about this conference is that the projects that presented up on stage, they're pretty much like productized. Like I can go and download their app, download their source code, and play around with it myself and start thinking about how can I build on top of this. So the future of personal data transparency, at least as far as I'm concerned, is better communicating what these systems actually do with personal data, communicating that to end users, telling them what's going on and what the implications are, and eventually coming out with tools so they can better control their data, how it's collected and how it's shared. So at this venue, one of the things that really stuck in my mind was that it wasn't just people in my field, technologists, but also there were a number of folks from government, regulators, and it's really cool talking to them and hearing about regulations and laws and expectations in other places. Really got me thinking about our systems design for our smart permissions, our contextual privacy system. So challenges in the field, again, I'd like to reiterate just communicating with the end user, because we always have to balance the fact that while privacy and transparency are important to the end user, they actually want to get their work done. We can't, overimpose ourselves on them. So we have to balance their needs to do their job with what we're trying to communicate with them. Moving forward, we need to start thinking about ways to better present privacy implications, whether that's through smart visualization or, I guess, standardized wording, a way where a user can just look at some quick label or some quick description and know, okay, this particular product behaves this way, and this is how it might impact my private data. In 5 years, I think some of the challenges we're to face are mainly lie in the prevalence of Internet of Things objects, appliances and artifacts that people might not even be aware are internet connected and constantly collecting data on themselves and sharing it with third parties. So we not only need to better educate the user on that front, we also need to design these things so that it's clear to the end user how it might be dealing with their data and where it's going off to and for what purposes.